31J starts 19th. Chris Frenier in position 20 in the 93.
And the final row will find the 18J of Louis Jackson and Dan Reef in the 55R as we go green here. Good start for the 0 of Glenn Steyers, taking the lead over the 7070 of Ryan Stabler. Stabler making his not debut tonight. He was at the Apple Fest a few weeks ago in the modifieds, but still running strong. A former track champion in the Sportsman up in Cornwall, running in some issues here for one of the drivers. I think that's Andy Howard in the 21H.
I think you're right.
As the caution is out, 1 lap completed.
So Howard slowed along the front stretch and is just crawling through turns 1 and 2, and that brings out our first yellow flag of the event. But you just notice off of that initial start, there are drivers that realize it's 40 laps, but you still need to try and get as many spots as you can on restarts, like you mentioned earlier on tonight. But when there are fast guys up at the front, you know it's time to go right out of the gate. It's a 40-lap race. You're not saving your car for lap 75 or lap 90. 40 laps, it's a few extra laps than a regular regular championship weeknight points event. So it's time to go right out of the gate, and I think we saw that with some drivers that right away stepped out of line and knew they needed to get going.
One of them is actually Chris Raabe, who gained 2 positions, is now up to position number 8. As Glenn Steyers is now showing on the board, he wasn't scored, but now he's there. So you're a race leader in the 0. Interesting to see Glenn Steyers in a 358 modified. I think he raced about everything. You can see him at the Chili Bowl with a midget, and he races up in Osh Weekend with sprint cars, either crate or 360 sprints. And even when the 410s are in town, he puts a big engine in his car and competes against the World of Outlaws or the All-Star Sprints, the Tony Stewart All-Star Sprints. So Glenn Steyers are very versatile and races everything that allows him to race. And I think he's even racing in the Pinties at some occasions as well. So he's not only racing on dirt, but he's racing on asphalt as well. So nice to see him supporting this event tonight, making the haul down from Osh Weekend. And he's penciled in as well in Cornwall for the weekend. So nice for him to choose to stay up north and supporting our events here and not going to Oswego. Made the choice. We respect the choice, and that's nice to see him here.
And as you mentioned, strong field in Oswego, and that's great for dirt car and the dirt car series. But strong field as well here tonight and scheduled to make their way to Cornwall, and that really is the great thing. I mean, the event that's still going on in Oswego, that's still strong, and they've got good car counts, and it's a positive for you guys as well over at Cornwall that event is being heavily supported. And again, if someone just wants to stay local and stay regional, it's a good option for them. And if others want to make a week of it and they want to have their full super dirt week that they always have, they have that option. So I think it's great. There are options for people. You guys provided another option, more so condensed into a weekend, but the thing I like about September and October and into November is there's a lot of really good and really exciting racing going on with extra distance and extra payouts. And that's probably the most exciting time of the year because point championships are out the window. Drivers can be aggressive. They can be greedy if they want, and they can try some things that maybe they wouldn't try on a regular Saturday night. Looks like we're ready for a restart.
Yeah, and to see also the mix of cars like we do tonight here. So as we go back to green with Glenn Steyers in the lead. If you're looking at the top 5 runners here, except Mariska, those are all guys that race here on a regular basis. Not a regular basis, but they're all invaders. So it's as Chris Raabe already making his way to the top 5 runners here. As Steyers, your race leader. We'll have to watch that 01 car. I'm sure either you and I, Raabe, will talk to him in the winner circle or in the top 3 tonight for Chris Raabe. Seems pretty strong in the 01, but he'll still have a lot of laps to do here as lap number 3 on the board. As Steyers leading the way. As the pair of 124s in position 2 and 3. Whitaker and Mario Claire, with Raabe now running in 4th. Stabler still running strong in position number 5, as we'll have 5 laps completed here.
Running out front, it is that 0S machine of Steyer's, and he is strong out in front. Running back in position number 2 and position number 3. It's those identical looking cars, right? It's the 124 of Whitaker and the 124 of Mario Claire, as those two drivers run in positions 3 and 4. But the driver out front is Glenn Steyer's. We mentioned Chris Raabe on the restart was able to pick up a couple of spots, but as you get some more green flag laps, it becomes a little bit more difficult as there's problems for one car in turn number 2, a car that's slow and off the pace off the top of turn number 2. I believe that might be the 29 of Preston Forbes. And he's slowly moving along the backstretch, and I think that might bring out a yellow flag, and it does. So a yellow flag will come out, 7 laps shown on the board, and that will bring the field to a halt as Glenn Steyer's is showing the way with 7 laps on the board. I think that is the 29 of Preston Forbes, but again, that's another number that is a test on the eyes.
Yeah, the paint scheme and everything for us, but seeing it here on the camera.
That's true.
We
could always look at. We could get to cheat. I'm not used to that.
Here, we can cheat. Yeah, me too. We don't have that feature in Cornwall, so nice to have the folks from Dirt Track Digest providing us with some help tonight here at Mohawk International Raceway to ease our announcing. Glenn Steyer's your race leader.
Boy, you mentioned it. Chris Raabe, that last restart, it's like that car just fires and shoots out of a cannon. Yep. And just the way that car reacted on the last restart, I think he's the guy you have to watch to make a bid for the lead off of this restart, right? It's a 40-lap race, and we're on lap number 7, but I would not be shocked to see that 0-1 contend for the lead off of this next restart just based on how his car fired on the last couple of starts.
Yeah, and especially what Glenn Steyer will decide as well, and he's starting out front, so that could
helps the outside.
Yeah, so that could be an option for Chris Raabe. If he fires strong and follows the leader, he could move up to even second spot here, so we'll see.
So it is Glenn Steyer's in that number 0 machine. It is Mario Claire down on the inside in the 124. Then the second row of Whitaker and Chris Raabe. So those the front 4 cars. The field slowly works over into turn number 3. Remember, Steyer's is the control car from the outside. He'll look to fire once he gets near that cone in turn number 4. Hits the hammer. Field is on it. And the green flag is back out. It's Steyer's from the outside. Good run for Claire. All problems for Hollywood as he pushes up off the top of turns 1 and 2. Felix Roy comes to a halt off the top of turn number 2. Field continues to work through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if we get a lap in before the yellow flag. No. As the yellow flag is out for Hollywood, Felix Roy really had a tough time as he drove into turn number 1, tried to really rip that cushion back on the top of turn number 1, and unfortunately for him, the car decided to go straight and pushed off the top of turn number 2, and that sent him up off of the racing surface, and that slows the pace as we have a yellow flag. And scoring will go back to work on resetting that restart lineup.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Felix Roy. He was in a good position for the 91 car, but that's experience too. It's part of the game for him. He's a young and upcoming driver up from Quebec. I was talking earlier about his iRacing career, especially during the off-season, as he's part of the national championship, or I'll say more North American championships in the iRacing world, either racing late model sprints and all sorts of cars. And he raced in Quebec during the pandemic years. During the summertime, they've created a league of iRacing as well, and he was always one of the contenders when he raced against the regular Quebec drivers. So all the talent that he had during that time. So he's an upcoming driver here as we're getting back to green.
All right, we're ready for another restart. Field hits the cone off of turn number 4 down to the line. Green flag. Oh, the leaders lean on one another as they race into turns 1 and 2. Steyers from the outside. Look at Raabe try and go from the top as he fires off of turn number 2. He's to second. Steyers still in the lead. Raabe takes the 0-1 down to the inside, drives it deep into turn number 3. Has to get on the binders though as Steyers shuts the door. They race off the 4th turn. It's still Steyers holding off Raabe in the 0-1. Raabe quickly takes his 0-1 down to the inside of turns 1 and 2, but Steyers able to keep the momentum up through the middle, pushes a little off the second turn. That allows Raabe to close down to the inside on turn number 3. Steyers pushes up the track in turn number 4. Field hits the line. Raabe with a peek down to the inside, but Steyers is still holding him off. Good battle for the lead out in front. It's Steyers working the rim up top in turns 1 and 2. He's able to pedal around the top and gain a couple of car lengths to separate from Chris Raabe in the 0-1, but Raabe was really strong last time in turns 3 and 4. Lap number 10 on the board, and Steyers shows the way.
So Chris Raabe continues to apply some pressure on the leader here as we've just completed lap number 10. We'll have to watch the 7mm of Mike Maresca as well. Now in between, sandwich between the two 124 cars as he's challenging for that 3rd spot here at Mohawk International Raceway. Glenn Steyers is still your race leader. Another push here for Chris Raabe, trying to reel in the OS car of the Oshweekend promoter. As Kerry Terrence is also in the top 5. The 124 of Mario Claire still running in the top spot. As Luke Whitaker lost a little bit of real estate here as the both leaders are running strong and pulling away from the field. Terrence found something as well, now running in 4th, challenging the 124 for 3rd, and Kerry Terrence now in 3rd. Terrence using the top side here seems pretty quick as he's will try to reel in the 2 other drivers as the Glenn Steyers is still your race leader. Raabe trying to do everything here to pass the race leader, but still have 25 laps to go as we're hitting lap 15.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Kerry Terrence in car number 16, the fastest car on the track right now. That last lap, 16.827. That is a whole 0.5 of a second faster than Steyers the leader. But here's the battle for the lead. It's Chris Raabe in the 0-1. He looks down on the inside. Steyers bobbles. Raabe to the lead. He'll take it on lap number 16. Steyers not going away though. He's right there on the back bumper, but he pushes going into turn number 1, and that allows Raabe to take over the lead. The field works down the backstretch into turn number 3. Chris Raabe is trying to separate from Steyers, but he's not going away. Steyers working a middle to high groove off the 4th turn, and he's right there a couple of car lengths off the back bumper. Kerry Terrence is a driver that really made up a lot of real estate the last few laps, and he's been getting it done up on top of the racetrack. Raabe in the 0-1 has been trying to run down on the inside. I think the top of the racetrack has a little bit more speed if you can keep your momentum up through the corners, but Raabe is getting the job done right now down on the inside. The last couple of laps, Raabe has picked up his lap time a little bit, and Kerry Terrence's lap time has dropped off just a bit. That last time around, Chris Raabe was a 17.353. It was Kerry Terrence who's back in 3rd at a 17.467. Steyers that time had a bid for the lead around the top of Chris Raabe. Steyers a little bit quicker that time at the line. Steyers in the 0 car had the lead at the line. Raabe running the bottom. Steyers up on top. They work through turns 3 and 4. Lap number 20 up on the board. We're halfway and Steyers has taken the lead back.
Steyers is having a solid run here tonight, starting in front and the front row, but still challenging, getting a lot of challenges from the track champion Chris Raabe, and also Kerry Terrence trying to reel in here in position number 3. Has had the quickest lap of the top 3, but Mario Claire is still in the mix too in position number 4 as Dan Reef hitting the pit area. As Raabe now back in the lead on lap 22. Chris Raabe pulling away from the field with Kerry Terrence also in the mix. The top 3 runners pulled away, like Maresca in 4th, Mario Claire, your top 5. We'll have to watch the 18 of Louis Jackson also having a strong run in position number 6. As Raabe pulled away, Terrence now running in 2nd. As battling with the 0 of Glenn Steyers. Steyers running side by side with the 66X. These 2 drivers are regulars here at the Speedway, so Steyers giving a run for their money tonight in the 0. has a lot of momentum coming out of that turn 1 and 2, but showing some speed as we have 25. We'll have to coming to 25 laps here for Chris Raabe.
Chris Raabe's now in the lap traffic. He put the 93 of Chris Frenier a lap down. Now Kerry Terrance goes to work on Chris Frenier's 93 as he works by down on the inside. Raabe has been able to pull away from Terrance, and there's a side-by-side battle between Steyrs and Terrance, which allowed Raabe to pull away a bit as those drivers were dueling side-by-side. But it was Kerry Terrance who was able to get the better of Steyrs, take away that second spot, and now he tries to go to work on Chris Raabe. Raabe in the 01 as there's problems for the 26 machine, headed back to the garage area, but that's going to keep this race under green as the car was able to exit the track, and it keeps the track open and green for Chris Raabe, and he doesn't mind that. Chris Raabe, the driver who is out in front with about a half backstretch advantage over Kerry Terrance in the 66X, is showing the way out in front, and he is running strong. He works off of turn number 4. He puts lap number 28 up on the board. Kerry Terrance in the 66 runs in position number 2. Glenn Steyrs runs in 3rd. Mario Claire is 4th. 5th is Louis Jackson Jr. Michael Maresca runs in 6th. Luke Whitaker is 7th. Jan Bussiere, the Sharkman, is 8th. Gage Morin is 9th. Matt Woodruff rounds out the top 10. 11th on track is Michael Perrant in the 25P. Then Corey Wheeler is 12th. Ryan Stabler 13th. Tommy Jock Jr. 14th. And Felix Roy runs in position number 15. That's the top 15. That's how they run. Chris Raabe in the 01. Rim rides up top in the 01 machine. He sees lap 30. 10 laps to go for Raabe.
10 laps to go here in this event. As Robbie was mentioning, Raabe having a good lead on Kerry Terrance as Steyrs still remains in 3rd. Maresca and now Louis Jackson, your top 5, as the two 124s are running 6th and 7th as they faded a bit in the field as Raabe running some consistent laps here with Kerry Terrance still there. We'll see if the lap traffic will become a factor for these drivers, as there's a few lap cars in front of Raabe. Was able to do a clean pass on that 21 of Andy Howard, as Terrance still there in the 66X. We'll see how these two drivers will finish, if these two drivers will remain in those positions or not, as the 01 of Chris Raabe getting closer to another lap car here, the 36 of Dan Beechard, as Terrance was able to pass the 21 of Howard for that spot here. So both drivers doing well in the lap traffic, as Chris Raabe, your race leader, but will be a barn burner, I think, Robbie, here with the final 5 laps of this event, as Kerry Terrance is getting closer to Raabe.
Do you want to go down or you want me to? Do you want to go down or you want me to? So it's Chris Raabe in the 01, and he's got pressure on the back bumper, and it is Kerry Terrance in the 66. They race down the backstretch into turn number 3. Raabe in the 01 goes high. Terrance is low in the 66. Raabe holds him off in turn number 4, but Terrance is there, and Terrance is moving fast. Chris Raabe in the 01 takes it high in turns 1 and 2. Terrance follows him in the 66X. The drivers race down the backstretch into turn number 3. It's Chris Raabe up on top, ripping that cushion away. Kerry Terrance is doing the same. At the line, this time, Raabe has about a 4-car length advantage. This time, it's Terrance taking it to the inside of turns 1 and 2. Tries a slide job, but doesn't make it stick. Just a 4 or 5-car length deficit for Kerry Terrance in the 66X. Raabe in the 01, a good drive this time through turns 3 and 4. 2 laps to go for Chris Raabe in the 01. Kerry Terrance again going to dive bomb to the inside of turns 1 and 2. Tries to get to the back bumper, but can't make it stick. Pushes up in turn number 2. That allows Raabe to pull away a little bit. Raabe continues to roll the top through turns 3 and 4. Oh, pushes this time in 3 and 4. Where he's able to straighten it out, but it cost him a couple of seconds. White flag is out. Final time around. Here's a look to the inside for Kerry Terrance, but Raabe holds him off. Raabe down the backstretch into turn number 3. Will look to hold off Kerry Terrance for the final time. Terrance takes it down to the inside. Raabe is up on top. Raabe pushes but holds on off of turn number 4 for the checkered flag. Chris Raabe wins it. Second is Kerry Terrance. Third at the line is Glenn Steyrs. Fourth, Mike Maresca. Fifth will go to the 18 of Louis Jackson Jr. Mario Claire finishes in position number 6. Then it is the 124 of Luke Whitaker, the 55 of Matt Woodruff, the 21 of Jan Bussiere, the 25P of Michael Perrant, and the 47 of Corey Wheeler. Oh, a heck of a drive by Chris Raabe, and he was able to hang on as a great effort from Kerry Terrance in the 66X machine. Terrance through just about every move he had possible at Raabe in the 01 machine. But Raabe is able to hang on and pick up the $2,000 top prize in the guaranteed starter for the 358 modified division at this weekend's Cornwall Super Dirt Weekend. Drivers are back in the garage area, going over the scales, making sure they weigh in correctly. And if we see the 01 machine work its way off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch, we know that means he has made his way through the weight inspection over in the garage area. Kerry Terrance finishing in position number 2 in the 66X, and Glenn Stiers in car number 0 completing the podium. Martin Bélanger has worked his way down towards the front stretch, awaiting the winner of tonight's feature event in Chris Raabe. Raabe in the 01 machine, as Martin mentioned, the track champion here at the Mohawk International Raceway. Also the Brockville, Ontario Speedway. He was the champion over at the Boss. And the Cornwall Speedway as well, a track championship for Chris Raabe. He has been one of the top 358 modified drivers, one of the hottest 358 modified drivers in the back half of this 2022 season. And he will be looking to make his way down to victory lane once he gets through the scale. A little bit of a backup over in the garage area, just looking over in that direction on the scale.
What happened on that first restart? Like, were they going by the monitor or something? Because, Michael, they took him from 3rd to 5th.
I'm not sure. Race director and scoring is over there.
Right here?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. So it is Chris Raabe back over in the garage area. He makes the left-hand turn. And he is working his way down the front stretch. So passes the weight inspection over in the garage area. So that's a good sign for Chris Raabe and any Chris Raabe fans. Also bringing out Kerry Terrance and Glenn Stiers with him. So Martin Bélanger has made his way down to victory lane along the front stretch. And we'll go down trackside where Martin is standing by waiting to talk to tonight's winner in the McColeman Media 01, Chris Raabe. Martin, down to you.
All right, thanks, Robbie. Another strong run here for Chris Raabe tonight at Mohawk International Raceway. Starting 10th in this event and able to come back and race hard with the 66X of Kerry Terrance and also the 0 of, we're not sure if it's Glenn Stiers or Jay Mallory. We'll see who comes out of the car. I've received some information from other drivers, but he's getting out of the car here. A good round of applause for your race winner here tonight, Chris Raabe. Chris, congratulations. Another solid run here at the Mohawk this year. Start tonight, challenging race, but those 2 restarts, that car was really quick, and after that you were able to maneuver some clean racing as well with that 0 car. So I'm pretty sure you're really happy to win again tonight here at Mohawk.
Yeah, I just can't thank all my guys enough for a great race car again. We've been fairly decent over here, and just really happy to do it for them tonight.
A lot of good racing in September for you guys as well. You've run Apple Fest, a good run here in Mohawk as well. You won the Dirt Car Series, so a great fall for you guys. It's been a stellar year, a dream year for you guys for sure, and I'm sure you have a lot of sponsors to thank on that 01 car.
Yeah, it's been a really good fall. Car's been super good. We've been super clean on the racetrack. A little bit of politics, right, Martin, there. But got to thank my dad for this one tonight.
I'm sure. So congratulations, Chris. Good win here tonight, and wish for the best for the rest of the years. Your race winner here tonight, Chris Raabe.